data sources in Terraform. Okay, so suppose there is a resource, okay, which is already available in EC2, or you can say in AWS, okay, and you want to get the details of those resource and use that resource, okay, in Terraform rather than creating a new one. If you want to use an existing data, okay, or a data source, then we will be using that. Okay, we'll be using that concept is called as data source. For example, in the last exercise, what we did, we went to AWS console and we searched for AWS AMI. Okay, and we copied it. Okay, but every time we cannot access the console and get it. Okay, so what we can do is we can write a code in such a way that we can dynamically get the AMI ID. Okay, suppose we want the AMI ID for Ubuntu 22. Okay, so we can filter it. Okay, so that filter option is already available in GUI, but the same thing we can also use using a data block. So I'm defining a data block, okay, to get AWS AMI ID. We are giving this block name Ubuntu, okay, and we are filtering for a name, okay, this one. Okay, so this path is available, already available. So let's check it in the filter if it shows. If you go to the AMI EC2 dashboard, okay, and if you go to AMIs, and if we filter it here, okay, let's try to filter. It should show something. Okay, so there are many AMIs, okay, with that name. Okay, so this is the one we are looking for. Okay, so there are many, okay, with similar name. There are many based on some region as well. Okay, so this search, so we have searched for an AMI ID like this. Okay, the same thing we will do using the Terraform. So inside that we are filtering for this image, okay, Ubuntu 22, okay, and its owner is Canonical. Canonical maintains the Ubuntu. Okay, so this owner's ID we have given. So this block AWS AMI dot Ubuntu, okay, dot id, so this got generated. So it searched for an image. Okay, so every time it will search for Ubuntu 22 image and it will append it, so we don't need to go to the UI and search for it. So this is called as the data sources, and it is in one of the interview questions they will ask you what are data sources. So I would suggest you give this example of getting an AMI ID dynamically, the resource which is already in the AWS. Okay, and so we'll start the exercise for it. Okay, so nothing much. Make sure you already have the public and the private key at this location. So I'm just creating one more directory, mkdir x. Let's get to cd AWS. I'll create a directory called mkdir data sources. This is an exercise for data sources. I'll go to data sources and just to cat main.tf, creating a new file in that. Okay, so these are the blocks. So the first block is the provider block. Then we are creating key pair. Okay, we'll take it from our public key. Okay, the key pair will be created. Then we are also using one more block for creating a security group. We need to allow port 22 and 80 as well. Okay, so this block says that I'm creating a AWS security group. The block name is my security group. Okay, so our security group with this name will be created, and we are opening two ports, port 22 and 80 and allowing it from everywhere. The access for port 22 and 80 is allowed from everywhere. And then in this block, you are getting dynamically the AMI ID. Okay, and we are using it here. So this block got some gave some output. We got some output from this. So how to calculate it? The AMI ID is calculated like this. This is a data block only. So here we have written data, get the data block details, AMI, AWS AMI. So this is AWS AMI. Then add dot, we added dot, Ubuntu we have selected, and we need an ID. So we have written here dot ID. Okay. Now instance type is T2 micro. Then VPC key name. The key name is also generated from here like this, AWS key pair dot my key pair. Okay, and the key name. So that's why underscore name. Then security group IDs. So if you see, it is in the square brackets. So an instance can have multiple security groups. That's why it is in brackets. So we can add a comma and add one more security group. The security group is also calculated like this. In this block, we're creating a security group. Okay, the name for the block is this, AWS security group dot my security group, and at the end ID, as we need security group ID. So in the previous block we'll create it, and here we'll use it. So if you see, dynamically the things are created. Otherwise what we'll have to do is we'll have to first create a security group. Okay, then we have to create AWS instance. Okay, but here everything is done dynamically. This is the power of Terraform, and we are giving it a tag as web server. So let's see if this code works fine. Terraform init. Okay, so something, okay, so I copied something which is not required. I'll just remove this first line. Just do Terraform init. Init is done. Terraform plan will do. So in this case, it is adding three resources. One is security group. Okay, the other one is AWS instance, and the third one would be key pairs. Okay, so it is creating three resources. Nothing it is changing and nothing to destroy. Just to Terraform apply and just press enter. So it created key pair, it created security group, and now it's creating an instance. So if you see, we have not at all given anything, means we haven't gone to the AWS console and copied anything from it. Okay, it created everything dynamically. Even the AMI ID it has taken dynamically. So this is the AMI ID, it got it from the search from a data source. Okay, so if you see, three resources are added, and only for getting the public IP now, I'll go to the EC2 dashboard, go to the instances running, and click on refresh. It is the one. Okay, we also gave the name web server to it, so it created. Okay, this is the one. Now only for getting the public IP, I'm here on the console and just do SSH. And as I'm also already logged in as an Ubuntu user, it will try to SSH using Ubuntu user, and it used the key pair, and we are logged in. So 187. If you see, this is 187. Okay. So this was all about data sources.